All right. So I've been thinking long and hard, and I don't know where I'm at after the Kendrick Lamar Euphoria Drake diss. But I was like, I've been trying to stay off of other people's stuff. I was like, getting their stuff off. I was like getting their feelings to tell me how I'm gonna feel. So I'll just say that when I first heard it, which I ran into it on accident, I was like, oh man, I thought this was one of these AI things. And so I was like, I sort of heard it and I was like, nope, and turned it. Then I heard it the first time and I was like, okay, the U4, okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool. They're doing like a little like poetry bullshit. Okay, cool. All right. And I'm like, yo, this it. I was like, okay. So when I was listening to it, that wasn't AI. That was his actual thing. Oh man, I don't want to hear this. I don't. I was like this. Then the beat kicked in. I was like, okay, here we go. We did. Now we about to crank it up. So I'll say that listened to it about 3, 4 times. It got better with each time. Cause I wasn't rocking with it after the first time. I was just like, oh, okay, it's all right. And I was like, I was like, then I heard it again. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. All right, cool. I was like, cool. I rock with. I was like the beat. Once it start kicking in, I get it. Okay, cool. I can hear some of the distance he got with Dre. Okay, cool, cool. Then by the third time, I was like, all right, okay, cool. I was like, I was like, I was like, the beat's there. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'll say that I do think that it has replayability. Like it's not the same jam that Drop and Give Me 50 is from Drake. It's not that. But I do think that it is something that you can play and bump in the car. And 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 then other situations. I was like, I do think there's that. I do think it has the ability to be broken up and be played like club and all that other type of stuff. So there's that. I think I was like the beginning part. I was like, that's just going to be cut out. You had to play that like a spot or something like that. The disc itself, I don't think it is the ooh and ah of like, oh my god, but I do think it is. I was like, it is good to keep this whole thing going. One, I was like, I do think that I was like, some of the, I was like, in Kendrick fashion, I was like, I do think some of the bars and stuff like that is there. Like, where it's like the Parkinson's and all that other stuff, the push a P, the push a T. I was like, that's Kendrick's whole stuff. Uh, but I really think this to me. I think this is more like his is the equivalent of Drake's Tailor Made, where it was just like him being funny and throwing shots at him of like from the jokey style, because I was like, that's what I sort of gave off more so than it being like a full on like hit. Like, it's not a hit piece. It's still not that. He even sort of said that in there where he sort of kind of like if you want to take it there, we could take it there. So you still know it's not at that point. It still is at like it's like it still is that back and forth. We just now know it's I'm coming at you kind of thing. He did. I was like, he did sort of go at J. Cole a bit, uh, which I think this is it. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he'll go at J. Cole anymore. And I was like, even here, I don't think it was like it's like oh snap. But I do think he threw hints at it that it's like, all right, cool. If you out of it, then be out of it. But I don't think it was. I was like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not that say that he won't use J. Cole in a thing again, but I don't think he's gonna come at J. Cole. Um, to me, I was like, he did. I was like, he described pretty much why he doesn't like Drake. Um, but I also wonder if some of this stuff that, like, for the whole basically the whole thing with the white boy and the, you trying to be black kind of thing. I wonder if that would have been in Kendrick Lamar's, if that would have been here if it wasn't also with Rick Ross. I was like, the fact that Rick Ross said it first, I was like, I guess on one hand can give some gravitas to that whole thing, but I'm also like, would he have said, would this have been in there here without it? Um, I was like, there's parts of it that I don't like sort of like towards the end, how he sort of started getting with his rapping part. I was like, uh, I was like, but I don't. I was like, it's not bad. That's not why I was like, it's not bad. I think it's really good. I just don't think it's. I think it's hyped as far as how we all have been hyped off of every single uh, diss track. We was like, oh, and we're like, oh, I don't think none of these have been world beaters or nothing like that. I think it's just been like, oh, they responded, okay, okay, okay. But I don't think it's been like, oh my god. Like, to me, the Chris Brown Quavo the stuff, that's the, oh my god. That's, I like, and I don't think this needs to get to that point. But I'm just saying, like, those tracks were like, oh, I mean, singles was like, oh, wow, kind of thing. These are just like you hype for it, like, yes, let's back and forth, let's go, let's see what you got. It's like, okay, got some bar, got the track, got the bar, got the track. Okay, cool, cool. So I was like, I think it's been good on there. I was like, he got a shot in at Drake. We're gonna see if Drake responds. I was like, uh, I will say that I do like that you can feel and hear, I guess, him not really liking Drake. Like, like I think that's what I will say. The difference of his track versus anything Drake does is that it's like, okay, you don't really fuck with this dude. You don't really. That's not really what you here for. And I was like, okay, cool. I could actually feel that more so from you, and whatnot. So, but okay, it's also sort of hard to do this based off of people's reaction and Stan's reactions. So, and by that I mean, it's just a song where you get hyped from because of like the ongoing beef. Yes, but also I don't think that. I think the hype that is getting is also because of Kendrick Lamar, and this is what I mean: is that sometimes the privilege of being the number one guy, the number one spot, top, whatever you want to say, is that you don't have any way to be criticized anymore, even if you can be criticized. Like, it's the same thing with like sports. It's like whoever the MVP is, guess what? Once you sort of do that or you win the championship, you're sort of absolved to being talked about anymore. And that's what I feel about Kendrick, is that once he's sort of been at the top guy, there's really nothing that you can say about him. Like yes, if you don't really like him, then it's like, okay, that's fine. But more people are gonna have like their eyes turned to you or be like, really? Uh, but you know, to say like for here, it's like, oh, it was cool, but I don't think it killed Drake. Then it's like, what? You crazy? You mad? And it's like, well, that's just how I feel. It's like, well, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I was like, you can't say that this isn't it or whatever. And I'm not saying that it's not. I was like, I think this has pretty much been on. I think this is pretty much on par with his with Drake's stuff as well too. I don't think. I was like, and I was like, I don't think that they have taken it to that next level. I think this is really one of those things where it's like, well, obviously, if someone just bows out, that's how it really goes. Uh, but I was like, nah, this isn't the bomb drop of like, okay, this is over, done with. I think this is really just like, okay, I was like, we got you now. He's on top right now. That's how I feel about this record. I was like I said, I was like listening to it more. I like it than once I heard other people breaking it down and hitting on some stuff that I wasn't able to hear. I was like, okay, cool. Liked it more, but I'm not. I also got gonna lie to you. I was like, some of it I like just because it was like when he was talking about like, oh, like it's too bad, bitch, you might pop ass with him. I was just like, okay, that's funny. Like then like some of that stuff just started being funny more so than like coming at you kind of thing. That's why I said like I was like, okay, you just don't like Drake, where you just over here calling him out like that. Um, where it's just like, hey, you can't say it no more, that kind of stuff. But I think I was like, good song is a good clap back, you want to say. Uh, I was like, I was like, I think it's gonna get hyped until Drake says something else, and that to me will end up being whether this keeps going or not, because the fan discussion of it has. I feel like, to be honest, I felt like they were really waiting for Kendrick to respond more so than to hear how this is going to go. And I mean that once Kendrick responded, I think everybody had their mind made up that Kendrick, like this track and how it's going to be perceived from everybody. Pretty much, I'm like, if whatever, like Drake really has to probably cross that line in order for people to say anything of meaning of like that Drake got it or whatever, because I think everybody's mind was already sort of made up before Kendrick dropped anything, and they were just waiting for Kendrick to drop more so than to hear what he actually was going to say. Um, if that makes any sense, that Drake drops his rebuttal to like that was versus Drake didn't doing a whole song, and then he did the tailor made thing, so he had the back. So it's like everybody just waiting on Kendrick, and then Kendrick responded, and I feel like everybody was already on board because, like I said, once you're in that top spot, you responding is kind of already the win that needs to be more so than anything. I was like, but hey, anyway, I'm still waiting to see how this goes. I still think we're going to get. I think we're going to still get something from Drake. We'll see how fast that comes. I don't think this is really over unless the people just say it's over. Once they stop caring, then it's over. It don't matter. But until then, peace. I'm out.